Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, another wondrous Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. We are off here to an exciting 2 vs 2 right here on Sermwaski. 2 vs 2, yes indeed, you heard correctly. We shall be watching Cobras, Pigsoup and Killhon fighting for the Soviet Union and the 7th Mechanized Corps unleashed upon the German positions. The 18th Panzergrenadier Division with the reinforced elements holding here a position by the river, hoping the Soviets are not able to establish a bridgehead and further their advance. Can the Germans hold out? For the Germans, we're seeing Milkplease and Whysoserious here fighting together. Commanders we all know here. In fact, we're seeing counter-attack immediately chosen here for Pigsoup. For Killhon, we're seeing Soviet Army, rifle combined arms and advanced warfare tactics available. For Milkplease, we're looking at elite troops assault support and Festung support. And finally for him, we're seeing Luftwaffe supply, lightning war and Festung armor. Back to Pigsoup securing points. Maxim arriving there, so weapon support company start, lots of Maxims, no infantry. Bit of barbed here from engineers rushing ahead.
Heavy machine gun team prepared for combat.
Pioneers here, pioneers there. Grenadiers here and there. With several Maschinengewehr also it seems in tow. There's a bit of additional infantry there. But an interesting choice to go for counter-attack that early on. His other commanders, I believe, were mechanized support and NKVD, so it's actually an interesting combination that he has. A third Maxim.
You need something demolished? What do you
bit
need?
dangerous work there. Point there secured. Country's moving in. Seeing additional Grenadiere, a Granatenwerfer and more Maschinengewehr.
We have it.
First engagement up here by the church. Companies ordering it, taking up defensive position. Grenadiers following up in another building, opening up their small shootout. And another engagement up here, Pioneers versus Conscripts. Conscripts managed to make it into the house. That's going to make things tough and awkward there for the Pioneers out in the open. MD4 around there, Communists evacuate. And Max moving in, the MD4 sitting up, it might be not soon enough, might not be soon enough. At the same time, of course, the AMG in the church might be no trouble. There's the Granate there, moves up, sets up. Pioneers up here as well, lots of fighting going on in several points here. Conscripts being held up in the building. MD4 tearing through several combat engineers, ripping them apart as if they were made of paper. Mortar setting up, firing, more machine guns moving in. More Grenadiers as well. So infantry pushes ahead there. There we go, immediately 2 machine gunners go down. Pioneers need to force way large conscripts forcing in there from Killhon. And meanwhile, Pigsoup is finding themselves being pushed out of the village rather rapidly. He's moving in with Maxim from south side, trying to open out the fascists. Engaging up here, Pioneers and Grenadiers holding back the conscripts there, and Maxim swinging in, taking up positions there, conscripts moving in. Mortar rounds going off. The Soviets so far having most of the territory. On the other hand, they are suffering a bit here. Mortar on the way now for the Soviets for Pigsoup. Mortar needs to move up. And Grenadiers here forced out of the premises. But nonetheless managed to push back one conscript squad. 2 Maxims seem to be firing at their Grenadiers. Molotov pushed back, Mortar moving up. And this looks like 2 mortars, and looks like here Milk has gone for elite troops. And he's immediately veteraned up his mortar to have a much more experienced crew. Interesting. It's definitely making it a bit difficult here for Pigsoup's heavy support approach. An array of rounds beginning to fall down, shattering the roof, and possibly anyone standing under that roof in particular. Oh, Pioneer squad went down there and retreat. Things are definitely bruised there within the first few minutes of the game. Maxim forced to vacate. Clouds going down there. Could the Grenadiers get it? Yes, indeed. Maxim crew taught death in the name of Germany. Conscripts running in there before getting all run. Can they cover it? Things up here. And could it be the Grenadiers might try and recruit and turn it against its Soviet users? More Maxims, more combat engineers here up for Pigsoup. Mortar on the mortar there. Looks like the Maxim will not be recruited. A missed opportunity, I think, there. A missed opportunity. Lots of mortar rounds going down, though. Veteran 3 mortar so far, not having much luck in hitting anything. Of course, it's just arrived.
We're under attack!
So mortar firing away, the 82mm mortar grenades held up. Rather close quarters. Molotov really doing a nice work there, burning away several grenades. 74 jumping up on the Maxim. Troops sneaking up there, might take some territory. The Germans need to sort of begin to come out. 1 of the 2 minutes points. Grenades need to fall back. They're getting flanked here by a Maxim, hidden by a ditch. Doing so quite nicely. Lots of machine gun fire. Maxims in a small farmhouse, opening up into the village interior, forcing the Germans to fall back there. 18th Panzer Division, definitely under a bit of pressure. Mortar rounds close, setting the mortar there, but doesn't quite succeed. Does not quite succeed. Like the mechanized companies going up for both of the German players right away. And an MG42 holding up here, just at this little cut-off point. Oh, there we go. That's the ticket. Almost took out that entire mortar crew. Also looks like someone made off with the Maxim. In this case, looks like Killhon decided he needed a bit there, acquiring it in the name of the Soviet peoples. MG40 holding back the country forward, doing so quite nicely.
HMG ready for action.
Troops reinforcing, going to need to move out. Points that are being secured. Flamethrowers out over here for the Russians. Mortar rounds continue to go down. Oh, the MG42 went down the retreat. A terrible loss there to the Reich. Over to Killhon. He was now to kill himself, not just a Maxim from his teammate, but an MG42 from his opponent. Killhon does seem to be a bit of a sticky-fingered person. Look, comrades, what I found! I'm pretty sure you stole it, Alex. Shut up!
Squad replenished.
Waiting for your command.
Lots of mortar rounds going up there. Looks like half-tracks back. Both players getting half-tracks right off the bat here, interestingly enough. Die Mittelschützenpanzerwagen. Mortar rounds going to fly all over the place. Currently he's in range of grenadiers. Looks like Killhon here's got some guardsmen. He's gone for guards rifle combined arms. Fire there, threatening to burn the machine gun crew there. And another half-track up here. Might that also be a Flammpanzerwagen here from Milkplease? There we go. More flamethrowers, more fire. Burn them! I mean, yes. How unfortunate. So far, the Flammpanzerwagen haven't yet had time to really killing anything. They seem to be likely doing something. One up here, so it seems to get the blackout. No anti-tank grenades, so actually leaving a bit exposed. Mines up there. Flammpanzerwagen here does not seem to pursue. Guardsmen moving up there. Do have the DPs upgraded on them. Flammpanzerwagen falling back in the face of this threat.
You have orders?
Germans pushing back. We're seeing a Panzer cannon out there for Whysoserious.
What do you have?
There we go. Counter roaring in. Flammpanzerwagen pouring away there. Lots of hot fire. Burning away half the squad there. Getting some good kills in. At least compared to this one, which has so far only managed 1 kill. Then they're getting shredded by the Maxim. Guardsmen moving up. Not looking good. They need to pull back. There we go. Buttoning it up.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Things just keep getting worse. And why is he not retreating that grenadier squad? Rifle grenade hurtling through this air. Landing straight on Boris's face. Their squad also needs to pull back. They're quickly bleeding out of squads, actually. That's not good. Maxim cleared out again. Field gun coming out there. Good job popping smoke. Flammpanzer forced to pull back. Now he needs to vacate the premises as well. Mortars might want to fire in support here. And a field barrage here. Nice job there from Pigsoup. With what looks like to be another Panzerkanone arriving for the Germans, for the Reich. None of them so far taking out for something heavier in terms of armor. Another rifle grenade. Getting half the maximum crew, that's nice. And MG42 here needs to reinforce at the very least, or retreat. Flamman continues to sort of apply some pressure, burning away at the Russians. At the same time, ultimate engagement up here. Flamethrower force moving in there, burning away at the Grenadiers, scorching them of their sins, and a T-34 running in for Big Rose as well. Already a bit of armor has arrived. MG40 getting pinned to the ground. Numerous machine guns just tearing into the crew, forcing them to hack the dirt as if though they wanted to make passionate love to it.
Time to shoot some Germans. Awaiting command. The enemy has
Guards moving in there, sneaking up through the village. Round south. Mortar needs to get out of there. Flampanzer moving in. Burning away there at the guardsman. Panzer's holding up to the village centre. Then it's forced away there. Maxim in the building, definitely proving to be the fit. And there we go! Almost the entire guard squad got wiped out there. Nice hit from the mortar. Russians sort of slowly trying to maneuver here. Good thinking by Pigbros. Or Pigsoup. God damn it, I mixed together his name with his clan name. God damn it, oh well. Scheisse happens. But Pigsoup here, making a nice flanking maneuver there. The Germans been starting to focus with this part. They've largely forgotten about this. That's a good move right there. But looking here at Milkplease, with a bit of a mix of infantry. Interesting enough, the only unit he's sort of ventured up is his mortar. Also, he's got plenty of resources to take up. Panzers are leading their sort of south. Country being upgraded with submachine guns. Flampanzer close getting down, needs to be repaired. Mortars firing away constantly. T-34 firing impact forward. He's not quite pointing in the right direction. Heinrich. Heavy losses there. The Pioneers walk down. Flampanzer close getting down. Second Flampanzer moving in. One down. Flampanzer kaput. Exploding inside the cemetery. Conscripts there. Almost wiped out. Pack 40 tailing into the T-34, but the T-34 managed to swing around the corner here of some blown up farmhouse. Maxim forced away there. Nicely done. And this looks a bit like a funeral pyre in the street in the middle of the cemetery. I'm pretty sure that's not quite by standard Christian practices. So reinforcing. Then he's advancing up here. Mortars continue to rain down. Panzer cannon setting up. Then he's sneaking up. Nice hit there on the field gun. MD-42 stand stopping a Soviet advance, or German advance in the south. But the Soviets are finding themselves being pushed back here. And there we go. Field gun cleared out. We know to get lightning bolt. No, just give for the fuse him. Forgot that just for a brief moment. Either way though, be for the fuse, increasing firepower. Mortar continuing to whistle through the air, and Pigsoup here adding in a half-track to support his troops. Flampanzer doing what he can here. Grenades out in the open though, getting shredded a bit. Lots of mortar runs, lots of death, lots of explosion, lots of suffering. And a quick roll there. Oh, trying to get the field gun, but that results in a rather swift execution as the Panzers charge through with their assault rifles. Flamethrower tanks bursting open, pouring over the wielders, burning them to a rather refined crisp. Panzers being pushed off their mortar continuing to fall down here. I mean, the German mortar really doing in, at least the veteran fleet one is doing something here. So it's very much on the defensive at the moment. They're not holding up too well. Germany is making progress. The 18th Panzer Division here holding out so far reasonably well. Support Armour Corps is up. Smoke grenade here going down, covering the retreat. Nice move there, actually. Nice move there by Mr. Pigsoup there, ensuring the safe retreat of his tank there. Well played, well played. Good use of smoke is always good to see. Unless, of course, you're the opponent, in which case you're probably a bit slightly less amused. Mechanized armor company up, so you might be seeing some tank destroyers or some Katyusas. One squad of machine gunners here, heroically operating behind enemy lines. Look, comrades, we are heroes. I think we might be awarded it posthumously. Another half-track, more Panzer gunners on the way. No attempt at taking up, giving him some armor, and... oh, half-track hit a mine. So that's another Flampanzerwagen gone. And there's just so much equipment laying around here. There's Maxim's field guns, mortars. I would definitely think the Germans should work on actually securing all of that. I mean, a second mortar would always be good. The field gun compartment with artillery would also monitor tank guns. Plus, they'd also just be denying their opponent. At the very least, though, they should destroy it then, if they don't intend to take it. MG-42 in a bit of trouble. Dennis himself looks like he might have gone for lightning war then. Mine engaged, going to be a half-track in trouble. Needs to pull back. Conscripts moving up, like going to get off now. So tank grenade grenades and Panzers doing what they can here for Reich, but he might not be enough. Hitting the dirt right there. Mortar firing in support of something. And looks like the Soviets are shifting their avenue of attack here. That's good. That is good. Shifting the axis of attack. Instead of trying to blast away through in here, they're taking another route. And that is definitely catching the Germans in a rather exposed spot here. T-34s rolling forwards. Large lumbering metal beast, and there we go, the half-track takes a 76mm armor-piercing rounds and crumbles apart. As if though made of cardboard. So of course now they're forced to ban all this again. If they say had a few support weapons here they could recruit, or had recruit, they might be able to sort of shore up this. Instead now the Russians ring in and they might be able to secure all of this. And looks like a follow-up here from the Soviet Air Force, considering only one of them actually has anything, and that's I believe counter-attack with air reconnaissance, and then that gives the Soviets a decent position of what the Germans are doing. Panther 4 there rushing straight in without any support except of Pack 40. Also got an SU-5 moving in, a tank destroyer. Panther 4 slightly pulling back here. Attacks into the centre here. Panzer's Grenadiers trying their best to hold up the flank. Panzer 4 firing in more. Panzer is more Grenadiers with the AR-43s. Panzer 4 needs to hold back. Yes, Station 5 and the field gun tear into it, doing quite a bit of damage. And now here turning Station 5, a target weak point here would be good. Target weak point. No sign of that, though that's a bit of a shame. Additional Panzers arriving here. No sign of Panzer so far from Milkplease. Looks like though he might be going for some of the heavier stuff. Popping over here to Whysoserious, who's actually a lot short on infantry at the moment. Looks like he actually lost both Panzer Grenadier squads. That's a horrific series of losses. Well, he's lost any of them yet. Either way, troops need to fall back. Oh wait, no, he had only too many on one. Either way, he lost them. Pack 4 needs to pull back as well. Not a lot of use left for him. He needs to be a bit more careful. Also, rather interesting to note, the Germans, despite that one, having the advantage for a bit there, they did nothing to actually sort of fortify with mines. So they need to fall back. They're getting absolutely pummeled into the dirt by T-34s and other fun things. Max covering the northern approach here. Panzers fighting as best as they can versus the conscripts. Lots of fighting, intense fighting here. The Soviets trying to apply pressure from several angles. They're doing so quite nicely. Another Panzer 4 up. But the amount of pressure the Soviets can apply from up here is certainly lethal and dangerous. More gunners on the way here for Whysoserious. Mortars continue to do what they can here. If only they could shoot this one as well, and the Maxim and the field gun, I'm pretty sure they'd be standing a much better chance by now. Second Panzer 4 has to fall back as well. Packs have been cleared out. There is very little can sort of provide them with the longer range firepower. Heavy Panzer caught up here.
We have our new weapons, brothers. Yeah.
A good job here by the Soviets in sort of switching attacks and sort of, striking the Germans from different angles. It's definitely looking like here the Germans are reacting quite favourably, for the Soviets that is, in these kinds of attacks, ending up exposing either side here to a larger Soviet assault, and that is good for the Soviets. Let's go for the Germans, obviously. After getting caught straight from everything, getting hit with anti-tank rifles, get buzzing off here, and oh, that was just beautiful right there, wiping out almost entire guard squad. T-34 though breaches into the village centre, nothing to stop it. No packs. Well, at least Pike's pointing in the right direction. Lots of explosion here. Lots of explosion, lots of shattered half-tracks. Lots of field gun barrages as well. The series needs to consider getting up some more pioneers to repair panzers. He could also get himself another Panzer 4 now. That could maybe work a bit. The larger Panzer 4 assault getting on the right angles, I suppose. Sharks are getting caught in a hailstorm of bullets. And here we go, before sitting up, and Panzer's basically charging in. There we go, clearing out. They might be able to reclaim it. Buildings collapse under weight of Russian fire. The Maxim applying support, stopping the Panzers in their tracks. 4 conscripts rushing in, keeping up the pressure from 2 angles continually. And the German defence in the village is a bit awkward. Can't cross the packs, keep getting blocked here by the different buildings. The mortars definitely are doing what they can here to support the German war effort. And generally raking in a bunch of kills, which is definitely to their advantage. Panzer squad almost wiped out there. Panzers need to fall back. And there you go, 3rd Panzerkampfbank here on the way for Whysoserious and the 18th Panzer Division, likely provided by a Panzer Division, since Panzer Divisions very rarely had any actual tanks. Usually they had assault guns. Or maybe some Hetzers. Oh, there we go, Gatling time, maximum, a small victory there for the Reich. Only a small one. Time for the mid-game analysis. The current situation of the Germans, after having a small brief period of flourishing up, are now a bit more on the back foot. They're desperately holed up in the village, and in part that's probably hurting them. Partly, I mean, they're building up a lot of tanks, but they really need to sort of get into the full one attack, and they need to get all 3 Panzer forces and working on it. Sort of trying to strike from different angles. I also think in part that perhaps they should try and veterans up, purging a bit of veterans here for that Panzer 4. At the very least, it gets up to veteran 2 before launching in. I mean, right now, one chance for the Germans would be all 3 Panzer 4 sneak up here, then heading from here, then one of them blitzkriegs in. They take out the Su-35 first, clear out the field guns, and then sort of deal with the T-34s as best they can, perhaps having a Pack 40 sort of firing in support from this angle. I think that overall could then shatter this overall armoured force with minimal losses, which would hopefully still retain some of the Panzer force, at which point they can then sort of begin cleaning up the rest. I mean, if those tanks and tank destroyers go down, I mean, that would leave the Russians very much weak, and in fact the tanks are currently rather vulnerable, very much left unsupported by any infantry, which could sort of limit the maneuverability of the tanks. So really, I mean, get those 3 Panzer force in on it as soon as possible, get this one up to veteran 2, so it's a bit tougher, you know, to knock out overall. That would definitely help them a bit as well, I think. And otherwise, you know, push in and deliver a crushing blow. Also rather interesting to note, I mean, he's not trying to save up for a Tiger tank, which could perhaps prove slightly valuable in this fight. I mean, overall, he's in fact not been making much use of this commander at all. He's only went for this, no tactical movement, no relief infantry, no nothing. Bit disconcerting. But that is that, and again, I feel a bit shame they didn't recruit any of these weapons. Otherwise, they should consider mining up some of the different angles just a wee bit, or perhaps set up a bunker, but otherwise the main priority should be knocking out the Soviet main armoured force, using those Panzer fleets and a bit of support. If they can achieve that again, that would leave the infantry rather vulnerable, and overall, again, if they manage it with reasonable damage, without losing a lot of tanks, I mean, they would also basically, you know, be able to win the fight then, rolling over the remaining infantry, and perhaps even securing another field gun for the glory of Germany. In terms of damage, I mean, Whysoserious is either the one lacking a bit behind it. Milkplease seems to be the one sort of carrying most things in terms of damage and kills. For the solo players, they're sort of a bit more equal. They're basically both ahead of Whysoserious in terms of damage, though kill-wise, of course, they're a bit behind. So that is something to keep in mind there. Bunker going up here. I think that's going to be a commando medic bunker for a machine gun bunker. It's not really well positioned. Then it should be either here or here in terms of angling. For the Russians, I mean, they've still got quite an assault force, and they should definitely sort of work towards preserving their armour. That's really ought to be one of the main priorities at the moment. Getting some infantry up to support that, and again, you know, preparing against any sort of sudden armoured assault, or basically quickly getting it moving towards sort of retaking this village. I mean, currently the Germans are actually focused again one side at a time, which again only allows them to sort of be quickly outmaneuvered. One push in from the rear now could probably knock it all out if well executed. Of course, I mean, there's also an option here that either getting a B4 howitzer or K1 could also work out. You know, the K1 then leading the way, soaking up the damage while the rest of the units sort of will clear out everything else. That could definitely also prove quite helpful and valuable as a tactic here for Pigsoup. But otherwise, you know, need to sort of harass up the Germans, sort of force them, sort of keep them under pressure, keep them spread out. Otherwise, you know, keep alternating attacks from here, because again the Germans are not really good at setting up an all-round defense. They have a tendency of slightly shifting everything towards here and here, and that's also one thing the Germans need to figure out, you know, how to set up a better overall defense, because the way they're currently defending is not really effective in the longer run. The only thing sort of really giving them any sort of chance here is basically the mortars, which is certainly probably counting for, oh, well, certainly 1/4 of all kills. So it's definitely something for them to keep in mind as well. So let's return to the fight here. More trying to fall down here. Constant firing ahead. There we go, attacking from the rear. There's Panzer, there's another Panzer 4 moving in. No training for that one. T-34 coming in up from Panzer 4. Shots failing all. Looks like this is touching. There we go. Panzer 5 securing and hitting the T-34. Ramming in, immobilizing the Panzer 4. Veteran 2 T-34 here. Pack 40 gaining Vetri 2 as well. Blitzkrieging away here. Another Panzer IV driving. Field gun here, outmaneuvered. S-35 as well. Panzer IV driving in, Panzer IV down. Can they get the S-35? That would be good. And the T-34 for that matter. And what is this? A B4 howitzer up, and well, that's a pretty unique colour. So the airfighting straight into the village. Knocking out the T-34, heavily damaging the Panzer IV, but actually not killing anything German attack. Panzer IV driving with the rear towards the Guards Infantry Veterans, which actually have a high chance of penetrating. That's more lethal to the Panzer IV here. Bit of a mistake there, I think. Panzer IV also exposing its rear. Don't expose them here. Don't expose the rear. Panzer IV's at weak rear armour. I believe even not the strongest SEAD armour as well. Panzer IV though needs to pull away. He's blitzing in, blitzing in. Perhaps having to cross the Guards Infantry needs to be careful. He doesn't get caught up in anything. And again exposed in the rear here. Clouds are getting the Guards Infantry though, which I think was what we were aiming at, obviously. Shock troopers getting murdered here. That Panzer IV certainly saved the day. The Germans lost most of their armour, but the Germans down to only one tank, which was, well, not the most optimal number. At least they should have two. And he probably could have had he not driven his Panzer backwards into the Guardsmen. The fight continues, so the Russians keep pushing in. Churches collapse under the weight of rockets, quite big, but not the biggest. The Russians actually have rockets that were much, much bigger than that. We're talking about 30 centimeters in size. But then they wouldn't be firing as many, they'd only fire about 4. They're just pushing in here. Lots of BF-43 fire, half take also support to get MD-42. And there we go, good use of incendiary being rounds there by Killhon. Outstanding use of it, outstanding. Panzerwerfer out here for Milkplease.
Enemy troops!
Oh! Good lord! That took out several Panzer Grenadier squads.
You have orders?
One hell of a hit there from Stalin's sledgehammer, as it was known. Very nasty piece of work, that. More Panzer IVs arriving. Panzerwerfer moving up. Again, a bit of training to them, perhaps get it up to Veteran 3 would be nice, a bit of coordination there. I mean, a Veteran 3 Panzer IV definitely give them a bit of a chance. Pack 40 here recruit. Certainly the Russians even having a larger amount of German equipment than the Germans. Panzerwerfer needs to be careful.
Enemy troops engaging us.
Bit of air reconnaissance here from Pigsoup, getting an idea what his opponent is up to. More rifle grenades, but need to be careful. They're simply getting shredded out here in the open. Shock troopers charging in. Anti-40 firing should get up in the armor visiting rounds, if anything. More T-34s arriving here for Pigsoup to provide further armoured support. Mechanized corps keeps up the pressure against the Panzer Grenadier Division. Large infantry sword going in here from Whysoserious from the south. Not entirely sure what he's hoping to achieve here. Panzerwerfer fails to pretty-much do anything. That's rather unfortunate. Quickly shifting defense to deal with anything from the south here. Not sure what he's thinking here. He's already pretty much announced his assault. So we will be seeing Killhon here sort of reacting rather rapidly. Blitzkrieg, Blitzkrieg! Instead he stops up. Panzer IV getting hit by the Pack 40. Already down to less than half health. The Pack 40 really does a number there on the Veteran 2 Panzer IV, even with Veteran 2. I mean, it does decrease damage, does decrease the chance of getting penetrated. Now we've got one Panzer rolling down. Artillery firing misses, but overall, I mean, a rather botched assault there. I'm not entirely sure why he decided to go through here, a river crossing where units be moving slower. And certainly in a way that rather announced us be going a large armour assault in there. I mean, if he's going to gun that, he should have surprised. He should have gone through here and and then rushed in with Blitzkrieg. That was not a well executed effort from Whysoserious. I can't help but feel. Shock troops here getting caught up with Grenadiers. Panzerwerfer veteran to 2, which I suppose is nice. But that was an absolute massacre there of good German soldiers. Good German panzers. Stun grenades here going off, finally utilising a bit more of their abilities. Abilities no need to retreat, they're getting murdered! Zurückfallen! Popping smoke here. 18th Panzer Division, despite Panzer Division support, has rather suffered grimly in this fight. Another B4 hit.
Yes, comrade.
Doesn't quite do anything in this case. Mortars and other things littering the battlefield, none seemingly bothering with them anymore. Over here to Killhon. More infantry advancing. Setting up positions here. The Soviets are holding most of the map. Barely any mines going down from them, but then the Germans practically didn't mine at all. There will still be an idea to get mines. Another T-34, and what is this? Panzerkampfwagen 5 has now been sent to support the Panzer Grenadier Division in its efforts to hold the positions by the river. Another B4 hit. Likely trying to shatter more unfortunate souls. Certainly getting off a few kills there, going sneaking in. Panther leading the way, opening up, lots of infantry now clamped up. Need to be careful about letting your troops that close together. You'll make them easy targets for artillery and other nasty things. Anti-tank grenade successfully penetrate the front arm of the Panther there. Panther firing there at the T-34. Heavily equipped Grenadiers leading an assault hit from the south in the hopes of breaking through. B4 having already fired again, but this time missed. Mines going down, good, good. Overall, the Soviets have managed to contain the Germans successfully at the moment. The Grenadiers are doing what they can from the other side of the river, but with a tank in the way, it's a bit limited what they can do. Panzerwerfer continues to rain death from afar and continues to really not kill a lot. Grenadier needs to fall back.
Contact with the enemy.
Oh, dropping the light machine gun. More B4 shooting at the base. Machine gun bunker actually holding the bridge clear. Surprisingly still enough standing.
We have incoming!
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Looks like the Panzer have actually managed to kill more than one with a barrage now. Alright, here a rather veteran guard squad holding back the Panzers here with fire and fury. German assault seems to be increasingly falling apart here. Another Panzer arriving for Whysoserious. No attempt whatsoever to getting a Tiger tank, so it seems like he's dropped that. Panzer's forced away. Nice bun grenade though. Almost taking out the conscripts there, but not quite succeeding. Could it be incendiary? No. Great not. Bit closer proximity with the Katyusha, which overall actually makes it express let. And there we go, and before to wipe here. Katyusha gaining veterans you won. Grenadiers need to fall back. Zurückfallen. Armored assault here progressing. The Panther 4 leading the way. The Panther falling in much slower. Straight into pack. Oh, that's just terrible. Nice use of target weak point by Killhon though. Good use, good use. Over to Milkplease here with barely any use left, and Why did they ram a tank that was abandoned? Why would they do that? My best guess is that Yuri must be near-sighted. Look, comrade, it's moving. No, it's abandoned. Quickly, comrades, I will ram it for the Soviet Union. I mean, that was just weird. B4 now, veteran 3 definitely keeping laying down the hits there. Panther close to veteran 2, heavily damaged though. Somehow managed to break through since the Russians pulled away everything to meet the engagement there. If only they had some Panzer Rex, they might have a slight chance there. Needs more pioneers, and they need some veteran pioneers, but looks like he might be saving up here for the Tiger Ace, which I suppose might be one way of having some chance of breaking through here. Large assault here going in to clear out the fascists from the right side. And looks like someone burst into flames. And the Panzer was all of a sudden rather quick to gain veterans. Interesting. More Shittifies running here for Killhon. And another squad while team took out his own tank. Looks like Pigsoup cares about nothing. There is no such thing as friendly fire in his book. It would seem. But the surge at this stage are largely dominating. Might as well speed things up a bit. Here we go, Tiger Ace arrives. Panther moves ahead as well. So Milkplease will have been spearheading the last assault. Another B4 hit. Panther probably ought to blitzkrieg here. Oh, never mind then again, there's large force here. There we go. Tiger Ace, Panther blitzkrieging, but at the same time the Tiger Ace is blocking up the bridge. Ramming into it. Veteran 2 for the Panther. Tiger Ace only shocked. That's good. Ramming and succeeding. Panther not in a good condition. And that Panther will go down. There you go, in fact, got abandoned. Tiger Ace about to get knocked out as well. And that is pretty much the last charge here of the 18th Panther Division, despite having been sent in something as great as a Tiger Ace. There we go. And at this point I might as well stop. It's not really going to go any farther than that. I mean, that was pretty much all the Germans had left in them. So there you go, a nice brutal 2 versus 2. Not the best one, but you know, had its merits. It certainly showed in the Soviets actually attacking from different angles, which is, you know, good. Instead of just trying to bash their way through. I mean, had they done that, they might have actually lost. Instead, they attacked from different angles, and the Germans rather showed themselves rather poor in that department, unable to actually react to these, you know, shifting attacks. Constantly leaving their rear open then to an assault from the other side, and overall perhaps realizing that the way they defended the village was overall not very good. They kept trying to sort of defend in from inside with anti-tank guns, which really need large open terrain to be effective. Instead, they chose to choose the narrow streets, which really did not help them much because it allowed the tanks to much more easily outmaneuver them. That combined with a lack of mines and the fact that their commanders overall was not very well used. I mean, the closest was Milkplease, who made some use of his commander. I think could have done more with troop training. On the other hand, Whysoserious' use of lightning roll was pretty much a waste. He only had the Eagle Eye infantry, and then that was it. I think he would have been better off, for example, considering the way he played, maybe Festungs armor, having a Pack 43 up, or having some aerials, well, railway artillery in as well. A command tank, something like that might have proved beneficial to him. Or the Luftwaffe supply and providing supply, and for that matter, also having access then to a Stuka bombing strike, which could have, say, knocked out the B4. The B4 certainly proved out to be quite helpful in this fight, laying down a lot of pressure upon the Germans, but at the same time, the way the Germans played rather ultimately effective because of very defensive play, but at the same time not proper defensive. I mean, they were just blobbing up everything in a sense in the center, and then, you know, leaving it open as target. There's barely any bunkers, which again I think would have helped them sort of clear up the flanks. No mines at all. I mean, they left the inside open. They could easily lay down a few telemines to sort of stop an initial armoured assault. Nothing here as well. And I definitely also think it was failure for them not to secure these weapons here and the field gun back then when they had the opportunity. I mean, there were definitely some problems there from the Germans, to be honest. But, you know, I mean, the Surge also made a few mistakes. I mean, slightly, you know, a bit too much head-on assaults, but they rather adapted nicely, which overall probably counts for more. Also could use of commanders. I think, you know, it would have been nice, though, if Pigsoup had, you know, utilised the KV-1 or, say, used for Mother Russia, but one can't have everything, I suppose. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you had a bit of fun watching it, learned something from it, were inspired something from it. If you were, why not subscribe, tell your friends, share with everyone. If not, you know, send in with your phone, provide some feedback in the comments, and when you do provide a replay, do give me some details. Where are you ranked? You know, stuff like that helps me a lot. Anyways, this is Imperial Dane saying cheers.